Hey Crusaders, and welcome to my very quick video talking about all of my unfinished series. I will first be talking about the ones that I will be finishing, and I will then be mentioning the ones that I will not be finishing. Now, I thought I had more unread series than I do, so I do think I'm quite good at finishing series. So I'll give myself a little pat on the back for that, but there are some that I have not finished yet for one reason or another. So let's talk about them now. The first series I want to talk about that I will be finishing is the Roman Spy series by MC Scott, which has been a big highlight of my year. In fact, it's definitely one of my favourite series of the year, even though they came out a while ago. I have read the first 3 books in this series, and I just have the 4th one left because I believe there are just 4. I might be wrong on that one, but the 4th one is Rome the Art of War, and I have it on my Kindle and I will be getting to it soon to finish that series that I would recommend highly. I would say that they just keep getting better. The 3rd one was so fantastic, and I feel like the 2nd one was my favourite, so stick with it after the 1st one. And on that note, I also want to mention, I'm not sure what the name of the series is, but it's another Roman historical fiction, and the first book was called Under the Eagle by Simon Scarrow. Anyway, I also want to continue on with this series. However, my library has the whole series, so I am reading it from the library, but since I'm at university at the moment and not home to borrow books from the library, I will be reading this series in summer. Come summer, I will just marathon this series, I'm pretty sure, because it's really good fun. And if you like fantasy and are interested in some historical fiction, that is a great place to go. The next series I have to talk about is Alex and Ada by Jonathan Luna and Sarah Vaughan. I have read the 1st and the 2nd one. I have yet to buy and read the 3rd one, but I really enjoy this series, so I will be doing that. I might treat myself to it on my birthday maybe, I'm not sure, but I will be reading that this year, just whenever I buy it. The next series I want to mention is the Red Rising Trilogy by Pierce Brown. The only reason I have not finished this series yet is because the 3rd book isn't out yet. As soon as I have my hands on that book, probably in ebook format, I will be reading it, because this series is crazy. And if you haven't started it, seriously, please do. Now is the perfect time to read it before the 3rd one comes out, because so much happens and I'd love to refresh myself, but I'll probably end up just reading it on Wikipedia to remind myself of what happened in Golden Sun. Oh yeah, the 3rd book is called Morning Star and it's out February? March? Sometime. And the final series that I have not finished that I definitely will be is the Powder Mage Trilogy by Brian McClellan. The 1st book is Promise of Blood, the 2nd book is The Crimson Campaign, the 3rd book is The Autumn Republic. It is out, but only in hardback, but I believe the paperback is coming out January 9th, 6th, January 6th. So as soon as I get myself to a Waterstones, I'm going to treat myself to that with one of my book tokens, and then I will have finished this trilogy. Oh my gosh. Now moving on to the series that I may finish but may not. And the first one is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. I have read A Game of Thrones and A Clash of Kings, and it's not that I didn't enjoy them, it's just that I don't see myself picking up the rest of the books in this series anytime soon. I'm not saying that I won't do in the far future, but for now, there are a lot more fantasy books on the market that I am excited about. I really do appreciate the massive world that George R.R. Martin has made, but I don't know if I enjoy it as much as other people do. I don't know if it's his writing style, but there's just something about these books that doesn't make me excited to read them. The next series that I'm unsure about is the Reckoners. I think that's what they're called. It's the Steelheart ones by Brandon Sanderson. So I read Steelheart and I read that novella, and Firefight has been out for a while and I just guess I've not been interested in picking it up. I enjoyed Steelheart when I read it, but kind of looking back on it now, I just have a problem with the main character and the way he views women. So I think I probably still will read it if it's in the library, but it's not like it's a priority, and it's not like I'm bothered if I don't get to it, even though I did enjoy a lot about that book. So again, I do think that this probably will be one that I read in the future. The next series I have to talk about is whatever the Darker Shade of Magic series is called. The main reason is that I didn't realise this was going to be a series. I thought it was just a standalone, and I still had problems with the standalone, and there was a lot about this book that I just didn't think was up to par. There were so many missing details, there was so much that the author could have expanded on. It felt rushed. I have talked about this somewhere, but I don't think I ever did that review I was going to do on it. And the last series that I say I'm not going to be reading, but probably will end up reading just to be annoyed with it, is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. As we all know, I really enjoyed the first book, didn't enjoy the second book, loved the third book, and hated the fourth book. So I don't know which way it's going to go with the fifth book, but I don't like the way the series has gone. I don't think the writing was that great. I don't think the characters were that great. There were so many problems with it. Oh my gosh. And I don't know, it depends how long the book is, because if it's going to be about 800 pages, as she seems to be going, I don't want to be annoyed for 800 pages, even though I find it fun to read them and roll my eyes. So again, I may read it just for that, which is really naughty of me, but hey, we can just put it down to wanting to finish the series and find out what's going to happen next, because it's going in such a strange direction. So those are all of my unfinished series and my plans of what I am going to do with them. At least I think they are my unfinished series. I'm not entirely sure. I had a good look on Goodreads and I thought, I'm sure I have more than this, but no. Anyway, until next time, look in the shadows, guys.